1970s, Nixon declared war on drugs and set up the Drug Enforcement Administration. In an attempt to cut off the supply of drugs coming into America, the DEA went after producers around the world, extraditing those arrested to the United States to be tried and punished under American law. But by any measure, the strategy has not been successful. Marijuana is freely available in the U.S., and the rate of marijuana use among Americans is now roughly double what it is in Holland, where pot is decriminalized.
The United States has spent, some say, perhaps as much as $1 trillion US dollars fighting its war on drugs.
In Ottawa, Eugene Oscapella, a lawyer and criminology professor, runs a small, independently funded drug policy watchdog group.
The United States now incarcerates 1/4 of all the human beings imprisoned on Earth. Punishment doesn't work. Just look south of the border. All you got to do is look south, and you're going to see a colossal failure of the prohibitionist model.
Let's do that right now. We're here. We're high. Get used to it. We're here. We're high. Get used to it.
While the U.S. government continues to play hardball, and Emery's case is a clear example of that, many other countries are backing off, especially where pot is concerned. Here in Canada, public support for the decriminalization of marijuana has been polled as high as 69%.
This is the largest global marijuana march in the world today with 250 cities. We've got possibly 20,000 people here today. We smoke pot! We smoke pot! We smoke pot!
To some extent, this trend has been stoked by Emery's relentless campaigns.
I think they targeted Mark because Mark was putting his money into changing the laws. Now, in Great Britain, it's not illegal to sell marijuana seeds, right? So you can't be extradited from the United Kingdom for selling marijuana seeds. They're safe. There's been seed sales out of the Netherlands for decades. There's continuing seed sales out of Canada. And there's seed sellers in the United States. They're just not engaged in political reform and therefore not putting bullseyes on their back as Mark did.
And I am never going to retreat. I want to overthrow the governments of the United States. I want to overthrow the government of Canada. There should be candidates everywhere. Anyway, I'm from Ontario.
In part spooked by attitudes on this side of the border, the U.S. government continues to step up enforcement. And I was surprised to discover the DEA staffs and operates permanent offices in Canada.
We have a country office in Ottawa, and we have an office in Vancouver.
We know that the DEA operates in many other countries and runs roughshod over the sovereignty of many other countries. So is there any reason to think that they don't do the same in Canada?
We do not have police powers in Canada. We are there strictly in a liaison capacity.
Why do we even have the DEA in Canada? I mean, we've actually been trying to find that out, by the way.
Libby Davies, Member of Parliament for Vancouver East, has a special stake in the issue. She represents the city's drug-ravaged downtown east side, and coincidentally, Mark Emery's neighborhood.
I think this has everything to do with political pressure from the United States. We should be developing our own made-in-Canada policies. We should not be bowing to U.S. pressure. How are they influencing Canadian law enforcement and political policy? It should make us very, very nervous.
Our relationship with the RCMP is absolutely rock solid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
In May 2006, the annual DEA conference was held in Canada for the first time. Top DEA officials came in from Washington, along with high-ranking drug agents from over 80 countries, all in partnership with the DEA. And I joined the gathering. Our co-host was the RCMP commissioner at the time, Giuliano Zaccardelli.
This is the 24th year of IDEC. And you know, long before it became fashionable to buy into the philosophy of integrated policing, and the DEA showed us the way.
I had a wonderful meeting yesterday with the leadership of the newly elected government in Canada, and I am so impressed. I want to thank Commissioner Zaccardelli for his